Okay, here we go. Hello, everybody. Today's guest, well, it's somebody that I've known for a little bit, and we have this funny thing where he started this thing saying, look, I want to actually become a friend. And I said, great, because we'd only ever run into each other, at things. He's a comedian, first and foremost, a writer, therefore, actor, very adept sportsman, which I didn't realize quite how good a sportsman he is. And he has a very interesting life history. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy John Bishop. There you are.
Ah, right. How are we?
You're a handsome man. Can I say that to you?
You can, and I'll gladly accept that. It's come to time in your life, you've got to stop pretending. Stop hiding and go, oh, stop it. You go, any compliment now, I savour. There's a chance you're right. You're not just being nice. How's things?
Well, it's an interesting question. How's things? I found last week quite hard, but today the sun is out, and that makes a big difference.
Makes a massive difference. Uh, I'm just I'm putting some heel balm on because that's how old I am. Fucking hell. I might as well utilise the hour to soften my heels.
All right, well, if we're going to start on health, which wasn't my plan, but
Hang on, have we started?
John, we started 3 days ago. I've been filming you secretly. You have no idea.
Is this like our first proper date?
It is, yeah, but we've done it on one of those Channel 4 dating shows, and with cameras watching it.
It's an interesting thing though, Rob, because I know in some respects we've been in the same circles, moving around like a lot of people, and in the showbiz environment, it's different than normal jobs because you are placed in a position with somebody else who your sole reason to be there is to get on with each other and to have a laugh. Hey, come on, we're getting on, we're having a laugh, we're mates. I remember like doing my first Graham Norton show, I was thinking, and then at the end I was waiting for somebody to say, well, come on, we all go to the pub now. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Dame Judy Dench and Elton John have fucked off in the cars, and I'm going like, why is no one going to the pub? Aren't we all mates now?
I thought we seemed to really hit it off. I don't understand.
And I said to Melanie, Melanie being my wife, only this week, I'm going to do what I've never done. And I'm going to actively make myself go and join like a tennis club or something. Try and meet new people and
Yeah.
make new friends because I still feel I can learn a lot from meeting new people, and I still feel I want to socialize. I want to do that. Now our relationship with you is that we've crossed paths and we have a lot of mutual friends, but we've never had that. Why don't me and you do something together? Why don't we do something with our wives together? We met at the Chelsea Flowers show by chance. Everybody seems to get on, and I'm like, this could be a budding friendship that we could cultivate and develop. And for me, it's a good friendship because I always like being taller than me mates.
Well, it's very rare that I am the tallest person in the room. Now, we may have crossed over, it occurs to me. You ran a sales team for a pharmaceutical company, yes?
Yeah.
Now, in the mid 90s, when I was trying to get work, and as an actor or a comedian, I couldn't, I started to pick up a few corporate jobs. But one was to go to Glasgow to a pharmaceuticals convention for Bayer that made Canesten cream. And I
Yeah.
had to go out in front of hundreds of people and play a doctor, a pharmacist, and a salesman. Now, were you at that conference?
No. However, within the pharmaceutical industry, it's legendary. The day, the day that Rob Brydon came and played all three participants in a cream that sorts out thrush. Like, it's bonkers. Some of the experiences I've had. Like, I've seen, kidney transplants, liver transplants, organ retrievals. I saw, one of the world's first live liver transplants in Japan. I've had this crazy life that when I started doing stand up, I couldn't talk about it because none of it lends itself to comedy.
But it must have informed how you perform on stage, because I remember the first few times where I'd run into you, and I remember thinking you were very self-assured. Now that must come partly from having had a job in which you were responsible for people.
It's very interesting in terms of trying to maintain a degree of perspective, because I'm now 40. It's 14 years this year, 13, 14 years this year that I left my job. So I still worked in the pharmaceutical industry longer than I've done show business. And I remember the first time with my current agent, Lisa, but I remember my first meeting with her. I was still in, me pharmaceutical thing. So I turned up with an agenda. I had a printed agenda. I gave her an agenda. This is the agenda for the meeting. She went, no one's ever done that.
You mentioned Mel a few times, your wife. There's a remarkable story. You've told it before. You were together, you had 3 kids.
Yeah, well, what happened? I started doing stand up because we split up and because I had the kids of a weekend and I wanted to do something on a Monday night when I took them back.
Now, I've heard you say that, and that's such a pragmatic. It was literally that, and I'm a divorced. I'm on my second marriage, so I know about that thing of being with the children and the horrible feeling after it. And this was a thing for you to avoid or to fill the time on the Monday after having seen them at the weekend.
And on a Monday night, there's a few lap dancing bars open, but you don't make real friends there. So I thought I wanted to
I thought
to
you were
go.
about to say. I thought you were about to say, but you don't make real money there.
Yeah, I wasn't as good at it. So it was this comedy club, the Frog and Buck, and every Monday I saw that it was always open, and I thought I'll go. And and people sometimes doubt whether this is true, but I was 35 and I'd been to two comedy clubs in my whole life up to that point. Just two.
Yeah.
So then I go in, and the guy said, "Okay, it's £4, but it's an open mic night." And this is the bit that I've said before, but I genuinely didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, an open mic means anyone can get up, and if you put your name down, you don't have to pay the £4." And getting divorced, I thought £4, £4. So that's £4 you not having. Put my name down, went in, and then the story unfolds that instead of there being 300 people in, like I was expecting, there was only 7 people in. Yeah, this life happened in the space of 15 minutes because I was called up second. And had I been called up third, I probably would have already left because, the open mic experience is not necessarily a polished comedy experience. There was a guy on doing chicken impressions. Literally, his whole act was, how does the chicken drive a van? How does the chicken play football? And I'm sat there like that going, oh my God. And I'm looking round at the other people in the room. There's only 7 of them. 5 have put the name down. So they're all people who go on a regular basis go, ha, ha, he's a bit better this week, isn't he, than last week? I'm like, fucking hell, this. And then I got called up and I just thought, I remember I walked on stage. The first thing I've ever said on stage was, fuck me, these lights are bright. I'd never been on a stage. I'd never stood on an actual stage ever in my life. And then I thought, what am I doing? And then I thought, what have I got to lose? I could see the barman, and I thought, I could be sat at the bar now drinking. I can go home to an empty house. And like, what have I got to lose? There's only 7 people here. One of them thinks he's a chicken. I may as well talk. So I just started. I said something that was half a joke, got a little titter, and then I said something else. And then I just paused and I just went, I'm only here because I'm getting divorced. And then I just started talking about getting a divorce, and then it all came out, and it was little funny bits, little. For whatever reason, I was good enough at it to start getting called in to do actual proper slots. And but I didn't tell anyone I was doing it. And because we were like 12, 18 months into the middle of the divorce, I obviously didn't tell Melanie. She'd moved off, got a new job. And then there was one night on a Thursday night, they phoned up and said, are you free? Because the middle spot's not turned up. So I turned up, went in the back way. I'm on stage. I didn't know this, she's there on a works do with people from a new job. So the people who didn't know me, didn't know my name, she's in the audience. I get announced on stage. She's having one of those surprise moments going. And then she come over at the end at the bar, because I normally used to shoot straight off, and I thought I might as well face this out. So I stood at the bar, and she came over. She said it was just great to see you the way you were when I first met you. She said, well, just, maybe we should talk a little bit more. And so we ended up going to Relate and started having, we started having marriage counselling in order to settle the divorce, and then realised that we didn't want to get divorced anyway and got back together. And I've said the story a few times because people say, how do you get into comedy? And it's the only story, there's no other, that's the story. But the truth is, whatever you say about, the rewards that you get from comedy or a successful career in this field, that's the reward. All of this is secondary. Getting back together was the reward.
But the line that stuck with me when I heard that story was her saying it was like the man I met. Because that's a big thing, I think, in anyone's life in a relationship, is when you think back to how you were when you met, and especially once you've had kids and time has passed by, it's a very good piece of advice. Try and go back to a little bit of that. I've loved talking to you. There's one thing I didn't realize. I know you've done a show with him in the title, but you're a big Elvis fan, like me.
Yeah.
Which period of Elvis, if you could only have one period?
I did Desert Island Disc, and he said, what were your songs? And one of them was The Wonder of You. Of all the songs I could think of, it was the one that would never change. But the Vegas Elvis, the big suits, the proper, before he became too ill and so on, that proper commanded the stage. What he held for me, right, was the ability to be the man you wanted to be and still be vulnerable.
Wow. Yeah, I've never
Do you
heard
know
that
what I
said
mean?
before. That's very interesting. For me, it was
But
just a case of I could just see so much of myself in him. It was almost embarrassing.
but like when he was doing all the karate moves and all that, and then when he sings, as I say, when no one else can understand me, and everything I do is wrong, you think, oh my God, to hold those words in that way, you can't pretend that.
He was a remarkable storyteller. In the way Tony Bennett is another favorite of mine. He's a
Yeah.
phenomenal storyteller. But I'm glad you say the Vegas years because he's often maligned for that, and I think there's so much to enjoy in that. Oh, I'm glad you love him. Well, listen, John, this has been a delight. It's moved the relationship. The next stage now, of course, is going to be in the same room, physical thing.
I think that there's a danger that it's probably overshot our relationship because there's nothing left.
Oh no, there is more.
We'll have to bring partners, so that we can do the same chat to them.
It's been really lovely talking to you, John. Thanks so much for doing it. And until the next time we meet, thank you very much.
God bless.